Hello, everyone. Welcome to Keto Confab for this week. Tonight is November the 23rd, right? No, it's the 24th. Wednesday the 24th, night before Thanksgiving. And glad that you can join us, whether it's in real time or on the replay. And tonight, what we want to discuss is our strategies or plans when we know we have like a family gathering, or we're going to be somewhere where there's going to be temptations, or what our main plan is. So to switch things up a little bit, I'm going to go with Julie. So Julie,
Yes.
what is your plan to handle holiday dinners and going out and being with other people and being with pumpkin pie for hours? So tell us what your ideas are.
Well, I probably have an advantage over a lot of people because I already work with people that eat all different kinds of the day and all different kinds of food. So I might have chicken, frying chicken, and then I might have spaghetti, and then there might be toast. And, I have all these aromas all around me at work all the time. My daughter asked me if I was going to cheat this tomorrow. And I said, yeah, at first I said, yeah, I think I am. But then the more I thought about it is, well, wait, I have to drive 3 hours after I leave. So maybe I won't cheat because I don't want to start feeling all bloated and tired and having to drive out to where I'm going to be working for the weekend. And I just think that if you are really mindful of your proteins, your fats, and if you're in this for a little while, you kind of get an idea of how many carbs are in most things, or else put it in the chronometer before you consume it to find out, so that you already know, okay, if I have 4 pieces of that, I'm going to be at 15 carbs. And then really weigh on it. Is it worth it? Is that really what I want to eat? And do I want to eat something else that's going to give me more, let's say, bang for the buck and be more satiated so I don't want to snack later, or juggle that around a little bit, looking at all the things. And plus, I have an advantage of my family. Some of them are already keto, so Dan's making the creamed cauliflower for the potatoes, and I have people that are cooking keto as well. And so I think there'll be plenty there for me to pick on and not feel like I'm deprived at all. I figure if I take celery with, nut butter or something like that, and then some pickles and things like that, I think that I would be fine without cheating. I'm not a real big pie person anyway, so that really doesn't bother me any.
Well, I do like pie. I'd rather not be close to any pie because I would have a tendency to eat it. So thankfully, we're not going to be near any pie tomorrow. So Laura, would you like to share what your plans are and how you're going to manage things?
Mine is actually going to be easy because we're having breakfast with the kids because they are going to their in-laws for Thanksgiving dinner. So breakfast is doable for me. But I have never purposely cheated. I really have not had very much in a year and a half off plan, but my problem is sometimes I eat too much of the keto food. So that's my problem. Like having too much protein, or even though it's bacon and eggs or, sausage, I'm getting too much. But so that's my goal, is to limit my intake, not so much. I don't have a problem going off plan. I think, about 6 months ago, I have grandkids, and so we have graham crackers that they dip in milk. And for whatever reason, I had like 5 graham crackers, and I don't even like graham crackers, but it was just something. And that's really my only cheat that I ever did. And it was a stupid cheat because if I'm going to cheat, I want to have chocolate chip cookies or something good. And I did not feel good afterwards. And so it was like, yeah, see, I'm not doing that. So I do not cheat because I don't feel good. My joints hurt. I just do not feel well after, but I can eat too much of keto food. And so it throws my numbers off. It doesn't make me feel bad. It just throws my numbers off. So
By
that's what I have
throws
to
your
go.
numbers off, do you mean your blood sugars are higher, your keto numbers are
If
lower?
I normally stop eating by 3 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
So if I eat in the evening, then the next morning my blood sugar's gone up, my ketones go down. Always, always has, always will. I mean, that's just who I am, and that's how it works for me. I've tried all different ways, and I steadily lost weight. I have about 15 pounds to go. But if I eat in the evening, my next morning, they'll be high.
Mm.
And it took me a long time to get my blood sugars down. I started in like 130, somewhere in there. I'm down to 80 now, sometimes 70, never 60 yet, but that's okay. From where I came from, that's good.
Yeah, you've made great progress, and I'm impressed. I don't overeat the keto food. I just want all the food that's not keto.
Yeah.
So, is there someone else who wants to share what their plans are or how they manage holidays? Okay, Jenny, unmute yourself. You're still muted.
Let's try that again.
Okay.
I'm going to a family house, in-laws, and there's going to be 30 people there,
Ooh.
which means there's going to be probably a dozen different desserts. But the good thing is I'm taking pork rinds and 3 different dips made with cream cheese and sour cream.
Mm.
And another family member is bringing deviled eggs. And I'm also bringing a summer sausage that I'm going to slice. So I'll probably really fill up with all the appetizers. So I can have some turkey and maybe a little bit of green bean casserole because I really love it. It's like Laura says, if I'm going to cheat, it's going to be something I really like. And I am planning to have a half a piece of pumpkin pie, but not eat the crust, but also have whipped cream on it. So that little tiny piece of pumpkin pie, that should not send me over too far.
Yeah.
I figure I'll probably eat, I've already put it in Chronometer what I'm planning on eating. And I figure my total carbs are probably going to be about 25 to 27. So, and I can also have when they're having dessert and everybody's eating, a plate full of dessert instead of one little plate, then I can have coffee with cream so that I can sit there and have the conversation and be sociable.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
and just by the way, I met my goal weight yesterday.
Oh,
We'll see.
go, Jenny. Great.
So like I said, I
Absolute
really
progress.
wasn't trying to lose weight per se. I'm trying to do keto because of my health. And 6 weeks ago, I took a uric acid test and it was 11.
Ooh.
So I took one over the weekend when I wasn't fasting and it was 9.9. But Dr. Boz says it takes a couple of months. Don't do it too often. Don't do it like your ketones or your blood sugar, obviously. So I still have a lot of healing to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't we all?
So,
Don't we all?
but I don't have any gout symptoms, which is, thank you, Lord.
Yes. Yes.
I have some
gout.
arthritis and stuff, but I don't have the gout in my toe or anything like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
but even with being keto, I don't have the arthritis pain. I haven't even taken any ibuprofen for 6 weeks.
Oh, very good.
So,
Very good.
hallelujah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Tammy.
Well, Virginia, I'll talk to you about my uric acid about, I don't know, it was probably 10 or 12 years ago. I also just went in for a physical and my uric acid was 10. So I didn't really know 10 years ago anything about uric acid, and I just went on allopurinol and I've taken that ever since. And my blood, so of course now it's low. And last time I went into the doctor's last month, I said, I want to try stopping taking the allopurinol and to come back and see what happens So in 3 months, I'm going to go back and get tested again. But I've been taking drugs for it for the last 10 years and brought it down. And I also had high uric acid with no gout, no sore toe issues. So I'm just like what you were. But I took drugs for it because I didn't know any better, 10, 12
Yeah.
years ago. And I probably would have taken drugs anyway, because you want to bring that down. And the diet change is going to be a slow thing. It could take you, I don't know, a year or 2 years to get down,
Yeah.
and your drugs can get you down, right, a lot faster.
Well,
So anyway,
as long as I'm not having symptoms, I'm really not gonna, I don't want to take any other drugs, but all the stuff that causes a high uric acid level is what we're eating. No,
well, yeah,
but that's okay. As long as I'm not having symptoms, I don't want to take drugs. And I have a question for you, Tammy. Do you have the FloraCare meter?
I do not. I have a Keto Mojo
Okay,
meter.
because the FloraCare, you can buy uric acid strips for the FloraCare. I
I
always say
saw
it
that.
wrong. So,
I saw that, but I'm going to wait my 3 months and go in.
yeah,
Of course, if you're taking allopurinol for it, you're going to be low, so that's not a problem. It's when you go off of it, and if I do go off of it, then that's when I might want to test more often. So
Well,
I don't know that I want to buy another meter though. But
Well,
anyway, back to Thanksgiving. Now I
Okay.
know my answer is not going to be as popular as everybody else's answer, because I am going to eat carbs tomorrow, but I am going to limit what I want. My favoriteest thing that I want is going to be stuffing, or dressing, or whatever you want to call it. And it's just bread stuffing, and I'll make it and stuff a turkey. I will eat it tomorrow and maybe the next day, and then that's it. I don't have to have the mashed potatoes. I am not a pie person. And so this is my little thing. My son wanted apple pie. My husband wanted pumpkin pie. I don't have to eat any of those, because it's not chocolate. But I found a restaurant in town that makes keto stuff, and she has a keto menu that she puts out, and then you order your stuff and you can pick it up on Wednesday. And I just found it, and then I found out that she had made keto type pies and desserts for Thanksgiving. And since I just texted her yesterday, I didn't figure she had any left, but she did. And so I went and got a Italian cream pie, and it's a keto pie. So it's not, so this will be mine. I will eat a slice of it tomorrow, and I was going to go check the carbs on it. But it's going to be net carbs when they do it. I'm sure they're going to be net carbs, but net carbs is a whole lot better. I mean, than having a piece of pumpkin pie or apple pie that I have. And I'll take a bite and then I'll freeze it. I also bought a strawberry pound cake and a lemon pound cake. I just cut off a piece of it to eat now, and then put the rest in the freezer, and maybe in a month from now I'll cut off some more and take it out. It's not like I got to have a piece of it every day, but I freeze it. So anyway, so tomorrow, really the only carbsy things I'm going to eat is the gravy and maybe a bite or two of mashed potatoes. I could take it or leave it, but my plate would be kind of bare. Anyway, so that I'll have it for 2 days and then stop. One day tomorrow, one day for leftovers, and who knows how much is going to be left after that anyway.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm going to do. I know I'm going to eat some stuff.
Yeah. Wilma, do you want to share with us what your plans are?
Well, it's just going to be the two of us, so it's just going to be ribeye steak with butter on it, and some deviled eggs, and maybe some cranberries I made with allulose.
Oh,
And we
So-
are going to have keto chow ice cream.
oh. Keto ice cream?
Keto chow, the meal replacement from Utah. I make ice
Oh.
cream out of that.
Oh, I've heard of keto chow. I've never tried any of it. I haven't seen it in any of our stores here in North Dakota. Maybe Julie has, but I haven't actually been looking for it either.
It's you have to order it from the company in Utah or on Amazon.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
Where's this bakery at?
Pardon?
I was asking Tammy where this bakery was at.
I am in Tupelo, Mississippi.
Oh, okay. Too far for me to drive.
Yeah, I haven't heard of any restaurant or bakery doing special keto desserts or food or
I have-
anything.
We have another one. I like this one. I've gone to another one that it's called Power of the Almond, like almond flour. And it's more
Uh-huh.
just bakery items, desserts, cookies and pound cakes like that. And then cookies. This one I'm more excited about because it's main dishes and sides. I mean, along with the desserts. That's what I got today. But I'm just going on to find it. So maybe I could mention it. But, the menu that she has for during the week, it's a meals prep to go or something. And she has a menu. I'm going to go look for it while we're talking here, multitasking here. And there's main dishes and there's side dishes and there's, things you can have for lunch and stuff. A Mexican casserole is one of them that sounds good. And then there's a protein bowl that sounds good. And there's other ones too. Let me find it because I'm just.
How big is Tupelo?
Well, the population in Tupelo is about 35 or 40,000 people, but we're about 40 miles from Tennessee and 40 miles from Alabama. So we're in the upper northeast corner of it. The Gulf Coast, the Gulf of Mexico is like 4 hours away. However, this is the biggest town in this area right here. So we have a ton of shopping, a ton of stores, because everybody in this whole area comes to Tupelo to do shopping. I mean, we have a Lowe's and a Home Depot and 2 Walmarts and 2 Krogers and a Sam's Club, and then all the
Wow.
restaurant chains, the normal ones that you have. And so it's really, we have a big shopping area and an inside mall. And so this is just, I've decided after I've come here, I've only been here a year and a half or almost 2, that this is where everybody comes, and that this is the biggest town in the Northeast Arkansas, Mississippi, where just all the shopping is. And I knew a girl that lived in Fulton, which is about a half an hour away. And she goes, "Oh, you live in the big city." And I'm like, well, I don't think it's a big city after moving here from a town with 200,000 people to 40,000 people. But it is a big town for shopping, I believe.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know can I share my screen or can I not share my screen?
I think I've allowed anyone to share their screen.
No,
So,
host is disabled participant screen sharing.
okay, wait. Okay, I changed the setting. See if it.
So here is the cake that I got. It's the Italian wedding cake or Italian cream cake. And
Wow.
and she's got some more pictures like this. So I haven't opened my cake yet, so I don't really know. I just walked in the door at 7 o'clock. So, but so this is her Keto To Go menu. Let's see.
Nice.
Wow.
I'm trying to figure out how to, oh, here we go. So these are all keto things. And so you can see that she's got a lot of things in her menu, and then you order by noon on Monday and you pick it up on Wednesday. So she's got some soups and she's got that Mexican casserole, and I don't know what all these things are, but I'm going to find out. Pepperoni lovers and pizza bites. I like those. Protein bowl. So you can less than 5 carbs, it says over here. I'm sure that's net carbs, like I said.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited. It says pick to order, order by noon on Monday and pick up on Wednesday or Thursday. So it's
Wow.
breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then snacks. And she's got staples that she does every week, and then a couple items you'll switch out every week.
Mhm.
So there's your pound cake right there. 1.5 carbs per serving. I don't know how 12 servings. But 12 servings, but I'm sure that's net carbs because there's artificial flavoring and sweeteners, and
Yeah.
there's almond flour. So that has to be net carbs.
Yeah.
So even so, snickerdoodle cookies. So anyway, there you go.
Wow. Must be made all with almond flour or coconut flour, I'm assuming. Yeah.
Right, and artificial sweeteners and whatever else is in there. So there has to be really for total carbs, it has to be a lot higher.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I have another one called Power of the Almond, and they have the same thing, pound cakes and cookies is what I've seen there.
Mhm. I wanted to ask Wilma a question. Wilma, you said you make your own cranberry sauce with the sucralose. How much sucralose to cranberries?
The recipe I have is like a bag of frozen cranberries. It was 1 full orange, and then I used a cup of swerve in it and just ground it up in the food processor frozen.
Oh, so you put the cranberries in frozen and then you add the orange and the swerve and
Yep.
ta-da. Oh, because for us tomorrow, we're eating at home, just us. And so in our household, we have 3 people who are keto and 1 person who isn't. And I'm the person that is odd person out because I have a lot of food sensitivities. So I don't typically eat what the other people eat anyway. But tomorrow I'm going to have cranberry sauce. I haven't had it in a few years, but I really do like it with a meat, or even, I know it's weird, but I like it with tuna. And so that's my plan tomorrow, is to eat it with steak. And that's going to be my treat for Thanksgiving. And I'm not going to eat the whole can. And per serving, it's over 20 carbs, but so be it. That's going to be it for tomorrow. And that's gonna, well, it's better for me than pie. So, and fewer carbs than a regular piece of pie. And if I was around 30 people like Jenny's going to be around and there's like 50 pies there, no, there wouldn't be one little sliver of pie without the crust. There would be a sliver of each pie with the crust and the whipping cream. And so it would be a bad scene. So, but I'm pretty excited about the cranberry sauce. But I'm interested because I've never made my own. And when Wilma said she made her own, I just wanted to ask her how she did that. So I see Miss Renee there. Is Miss Renee ready to tell us what she's going to do?
I had to unmute myself so I wouldn't be making too much noise. I'm working on a Christmas project for my grandson.
Oh, I see.
Cute. That, and I'm also been commissioned to do some work for my cousin for the place where she gets acupuncture done. I've done art for coasters and stuff. Anyway, so I got invited to spend Thanksgiving with my oldest son and his girlfriend at her grandmother's house. And so she goes, now you understand that you're not getting keto friendly foods. I said, yes, dear, I understand. Not everyone wants to eat like I do. And I said, well, is there anything I need to bring? She goes, no, just yourself. And, or no, she said, just your smile. And I said, so that means I'm supposed to come without clothes? And if you understand our family, you'd understand that that's kind of like one of those tongue-in-cheek things. She goes, no, clothing is not an optional thing. It's like, oh, okay. Anyway, but I actually was looking up some recipes and I found some bread that I can make that is keto friendly, that's using the almond flour, and I'm getting ready to make some tonight. I've got my waiting for my it's not swerve, but my little sweetener stuff to come, and that I'm going to be using. And it's made with peanut butter of all things and eggs primarily. And I'm like going, and it looks delicious. So it should be interesting. About the only thing that I is, really going to get me is, of course, the pies. And what I had wanted to make, unfortunately, I can't find some of the ingredients, at least not locally. And it was to make a peanut butter pie, because I'm a pie eater. Pie cake, if it's got sugar in it, that's why I look so gorgeous, but really, it's kind of funny. The other day I had something really sugary and it actually almost made me sick to my stomach. So I have a feeling that I am probably going to avoid most of the stuff that I like. I mean, I'm kind of like, I don't remember who was talking, because I'm sorry, I was focused looking down, but someone said they might have a bite of like potatoes, or they're a bite of the gravy. I might have just a bite, but I don't want to put a whole bunch on my plate, if that makes any sense to anyone. Mainly because I don't want to offend my host that I'm going to. I don't know how much my son's girlfriend has explained to her grandmother what my new dietary things are. And I don't want to offend her, but at the same time, I'm not going to go in and just, have a little bite of everything. But I will have a few little items, and definitely, my any vegetables that are keto friendly, I'm sure I'll be scarfing down as well. So, I mean, that's kind of like my plan. So. Oh, and I was going to mention too, one of y'all said you've been going to and I can't remember your name, I'm sorry, but you mentioned a place nearby you in Tupelo that has a keto menu. I was mentioning to a young man in our church who has just finished his degree in cordon bleu, or blue, or however you pronounce it, for cooking. I said, I actually thought of what would be a great restaurant. And I said it would be a keto friendly restaurant, and the name of it would be Special K. And he loved it. He goes, "Oh, that's a great idea." I said, "Yeah, but neither you nor I have the money to start it. But if you ever want to, I will back you up and get you all the keto recipes you want."
Yeah, that could be cool.
Yeah.
So I think the only one we haven't heard from yet is Scott.
Well, the thing, I mean, you talked about our plans anyway, so,
But tell them about our plans for later.
Right. Yeah. Well, so later, sometime tomorrow afternoon, we're going to go over to one of our friends' house. And she lives alone, but her two sisters are going to be visiting her. And so we'll sit there and do board games or a puzzle or something. And I think that, I was thinking about the whole keto thing, how you do that during the holidays. And I think, the main thing is that you go into a holiday with the right attitude, knowing that it's not about the food anyway, it's about the seeing the people that you want to see, and also, stepping away from your work that you do, 40, 50, 60 hours a week, it's really nice to take a break from that. And the other thing is, I mean, in a way, I think keto is actually given us an advantage as well, because we're forced to realize that, all of that food, number one, is really not good for you, but also number two, it's not really about food anyway, even though, I mean, when you think of, unfortunately, when most people think of Thanksgiving, they think of the meal, eating, and it's and really, I mean, you should reflect on what you're thankful for, and also Thanksgiving is a great time to get together with family or friends, or whatever. So I think we have actually an advantage, because we have actually taken this carbohydrate laden all of these carbohydrate laden foods and gotten rid of them, and have really focused on the fact that diet is not eating it because it tastes good. It's eating it because it's healthy. And although most keto food does taste good as well, it's just not necessarily sweet per se. But so anyway, those are the main things I was thinking. But the other thing is, if you're going to a family gathering, I mean, we know someone who's, they're going to a family gathering, but they're going to take a dish that's keto friendly, and that's a good approach as well, and Becky has actually converted a lot of our casserole recipes to keto-friendly recipes. And so we can send you all sorts of recipes of some great tasting casseroles that are actually keto-friendly. And by the way, I just want everybody to know that Becky is the self-proclaimed queen of the casserole. So, yeah, she does great things with casseroles. Yes.
Well, thank you for your resounding endorsement.
You're welcome.
What
Yeah.
what most of you probably don't know is that we have a disabled daughter who goes who has unfortunately special dietary needs like me. She's sensitive to a lot of things, and you know, like orange juice will cause her to wet the bed, and tomatoes cause a lot of problems. And you know, so she can't eat what is, you know, at just a restaurant usually. Well, she can eat some things but not everything, and she has to be gluten free because she has terrible constipation and everything. So to make it easier for myself to be able to send a lunch with her, because she can't just have a sandwich, you know, um, I started making casseroles that she could have. And so right now, I think I have 6 or 7 casseroles that I'll make the casserole for supper. And then whatever's left over, I make a big one. Whatever's left over, we break it up into lunch servings and we freeze it. And then she gets that some other day. And so, you know, I'm the casserole queen because I make casseroles all the time now, that take care of both supper and lunch, you know, and they just warm up better than anything else, you know. Anyway, but we took her keto because she was having a lot of acne problems. And the doctor said, well, it's because, you know, her testosterone is too high, and, you know, we don't know what else. And, you know, we could put her on all these drugs, but she doesn't take medication well. And, but then I found out that keto could solve acne problems, and it did. Within a month of taking her keto, it solved the acne problems. And I was just like, wow, are you kidding me? You know, and she's lost weight and her constipation is much better. And, you know, she's just better, you know, than she used to be. So it's good all around. So I don't know. I think all of you are on the Neurons group on Facebook, right? Some time back, a month ago or something, Kim, I forget her last name, was advertising a class for getting through the holidays, keto and everything. And because I am absolutely the opposite of Laura, I just crave and want anything and everything that isn't keto all the time. It's better than it was when I first started, but if I cheat, then I go through 2 or 3 days where I can't nearly contain myself and and everything. So I thought, well, I'll take Kim's class, and she's taught us a number of things. We've had 4 classes so far, and this week she taught us something that really I think is going to change my life, and I wanted to share it with you guys since we're talking about going into the lion's den and everything. And what she taught us about was your cheat jar. She says to get a glass jar, decorate it up however you want. My youngest daughter decorated this one for me. And then she says, get some marbles or some beads or some little stones or something. I got some of those craft glass colored things. Oops, there's one on the floor. And she says, what you do with the jar is you put it somewhere you will see it all the time. And she says, you know, if you have an office that you spend a lot of time at, and if you're a person who drives around in the car and gets tempted to go to the drive-throughs and get something, put one in your car. So my youngest has made me 3 jars, one for my home office because I spend a lot of time there, one for upstairs in the kitchen, and one for my office on Main Street. And I got some of these little glass stones. And the thing is we have to stop and think about our emotions about food and what our emotions are, what our belief systems tied up with food, that push our actions. So I see chocolate, I want it, it goes in my mouth, I eat it, I don't think. So what this jar is supposed to do is to remind us that when we have the thought, I want to cheat, or I want to have that chocolate, or I want to go to the store and buy a pie and eat the whole thing, whatever this thought is, that you grab a stone and you put it in your hand. Grabbing the stone or the bead or the rock, whatever you use, makes that thought real. It's something tangible. I have a thought, it's here in my hand. That thought is, I want to eat that candy bar, or I want to eat a big piece of pie. And she says, from that point, she wants you to think about that thought for the next 10 minutes. You hold on to the rock in your hand, you can change hands, you can do whatever you want with it, but you have to think about it. Or if you're working on something, you put it on the desk in front of you and you think about it. Why do I have that urge to get chocolate? Why do I want to cheat with those chips my son left sitting on the table? You know, why? What's behind that? Well, for me, sweets and chocolates and things like that were not very frequent in my home. And when they were around, it was because my mother was actually in a good mood. Okay. We never had anything sweet or nice or good unless mom was in a good mood. And a lot of times she would send us children to the little corner store. I lived in the big city and there was a little corner store. And she would give us the money to buy candy bars. And she always wanted the Hostess chocolate cupcakes. And we'd go bounding off down the street to get the candy bars, and we'd come back. And it's some of my best memories with my mother having treats, sitting there and eating that candy bar together, and my mother is actually happy. And so I've always equated sweets and treats and candy bars and cupcakes and pie and everything with good times, happiness, love, laughing and stuff. And so inside my subconscious mind, I have all of these belief systems and all of this past emotional baggage, and I fight it every day when I'm trying to resist things. So I'm pretty safe here in my home and in my office because I don't have any of the naughty foods I shouldn't eat. And they're not like next door or anything that I can get to. Well, actually, there's a pharmacy next to my office that I could go there, but I try not to take any money with me when I go to the office. And when I go out into public, I go to the gas station, or I go to the dollar store, or I go to the grocery store. Of course, there are temptations constantly. And my youngest daughter is not keto. She likes gummy candy and other stuff. So she has candies around and she has chips around. So I'm tempted. So today, I'm very proud of myself because today's my first day that I've had my little jar trying to help me. And I was able to put 4 stones in to the jar because I was able to resist. And that's really good for me because I almost always give in. And the only thing that keeps me from giving in is I'm sitting here at home and there's nothing for me to eat. That's bad. So I went out to the dollar store today. I went to the gas station today. I went to the post office today. I went by my office today. And at each place I went, there was a temptation. The postmistress has put little candy bars out on the counter because of the holiday. And it's like, you're killing me. And I had to go to the postmistress counter and get a package that came in today. And I saw those candy bars and I started to reach for one and I'm like, no. And I reached in my coat pocket and I brought out my little stone that I'd put in the pocket in case I saw something. And so anyway, it's a little trick. Maybe I'm fooling myself. Maybe this won't work for too long, but it worked today. So I'm happy. I found something that helped me get through today without cheating. And I'm going to continue to try and use my jar. And if the ideal would help any of you, you're welcome. If it's like, oh man, this lady's crazy, you're not the first person who has said that. So
there's an essential oil that is sold by Essential 3. That's the brand name of the company, and it's called Habit Release. I use it a lot for my patients in the past, like when they were dieting or trying to quit smoking or break a habit of whatever the habit was. And so what they're supposed to do is instead of like what you did, Becky, instead of having that piece of candy, you unscrew the jar and you smell it so that you start associating that smell, that good smell instead of your habit item. And because it's a lot easier to not, because then you eventually don't even need that smell, because the smell is what's helping to break the chemical pattern up here that says, I want that, I need that, because it's changing the chemical reaction to that item or whatever it is, because it's an essential oil. So it's a great blend to try if you have struggle times.
what's the name of the blend again?
It's called Habit Release.
Okay.
Yeah. And the company,
I'll have to look at it.
Yeah, the company name is Essential 3. ESSENTI, however you spell essential, sorry. And then the word 3, THREE, or the number 3. Should pull, both of them will pull it up.
Oh, okay. I'll look, I'll see what the blend is. Unfortunately, I tend to be sensitive to an awful lot of essential oils.
Yes. And the great thing is you don't have to put it on your body, especially for those who are sensitive to having certain put on their skin.
Yeah,
they might be able to smell something, but they can't have it on their skin.
I can't
So
even
for those
smell.
who can't have it on their skin, it's a good one.
Yeah, well, lavender gives me a massive headache, and it's supposed to be one of those essential oils that are so good and calming and can help when you have a headache. Oh, no. It's the lavender that gives me a headache. So, but my cross to bear, but I'll look it up. It's a good idea. Dr. Boz talks about when you feel hungry or you think you have a craving to use salt on your tongue. I've tried that and it has worked. But my problem is the thought in my head just keeps playing over and over. And it was interesting today when I had the thought, like while I was at the office, I thought, well, I'll just go into the pharmacy and see if they have any, this thing that I was looking for at the dollar store but didn't find. And I'm like, they won't have it. What you really want to do is look at the candy. And I'm like, yes. And so out came a stone and I'm like, why do I want to look at the candy? Because I'm feeling stressed, because I feel like I haven't gotten enough done today, because I want something happy, exciting, what is it? So yes, Jenny.
Dr. Laws also says in her workbook, if you are having cravings and you're really not hungry, but you're having cravings of things that you shouldn't have, is to take a piece of paper and a pen and with your non-dominant hand, make swirls.
The loops, yeah.
Loops for 10 minutes. The loops, yeah, the loops with your non-dominant hand. And that takes, I mean, you really have to concentrate when you're trying to do it with your left hand. Says, oh, that looks crazy. Looks like somebody that's had a stroke. So, but you have to, all these things go through your mind and you stop thinking about that chocolate.
Yeah. That hasn't worked for me.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm a stubborn case, I tell you. But that's okay. I'm working it. And there are other things you can do. Like I've taken something called the emotional freedom technique class, where you tap on various meridians of the body to try and get rid of emotions or feelings and stuff. And that helps sometimes, but you know what? Sometimes that thought about I want to eat the chocolate makes me say, I'm not going to do that EFT. No. So what? I paid $400 to take that class. Who cares? I want the chocolate. That's what we're working with here. There's also some techniques within the Body Talk Access program, which is actually a class I teach, that you can do something called switching. And it's another tapping technique thing. And it's supposed to help with cravings and poor thinking patterns and stuff. And I many times choose not to do it, even though I know it. But I think what was important for me is taking the thought out of my mind and putting it right there in the hand. And then I have to be accountable for it. If it's just swirling around in my mind and nobody sees it, and nobody acknowledges that it's there but me, and I just let it stew, then, so anyway. All right, so I don't know about anybody else, but I want to know from Julie, what are you doing, Julie?
I'm making memory owls.
Oh, memory owls.
They hold a tab or an iPad right here across their feet. But somebody sent me their mother's clothing to make memory owls. So I'm stuffing them and then sewing them shut.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to have them so they could give them away for Christmas.
Okay.
And I've got 5 of them to finish stuffing. I'm sorry, am I distracting?
No, I just wanted to know what you were making. I knew you were making memory animals. I saw some pictures on Facebook. In fact,
Yeah.
I told a couple of people to call you because like Grandpa passed away and they have a number of his shirts they want to do something with for the grandchildren to have.
These are also memory items. They're pillows made out of Grandpa's shirts or Dad's shirts or Mom's even for that matter.
Mhm.
And then I put this little saying on the back. Is it backwards?
No. This is a shirt I used to wear. Whenever you hold it, know that I am there. Oh,
So
that's nice.
I
Renee likes it. She's going heart, heart, heart.
Yeah, I've made a lot of different items: unicorns, horses, owls, elephants, puppies, quilts, all kinds of memory items for people.
Mhm.
And I don't advertise. It gets around word of mouth. I don't have to advertise. I'd be so busy I wouldn't have to work maybe.
Yeah. Anyway, well, anybody have any questions, anything they want to say? Go on, Jenny. Oh, you're muted again.
Can't hear you.
Still muted.
Can't hear you.
There.
There you go.
Cranberry sauce is really easy to make. You just buy a bag of cranberries in the produce section and put them in a pot, a cup of water, and you can use a cup of swerve because that's equal to a cup of sugar.
Okay.
And you can use orange flavoring instead of orange juice for your daughter. and you just boil it for like 10, 15 minutes until the cranberries start to burst and thicken. And that's it. And then you refrigerate it.
10 minutes?
10, 15 minutes, that's all.
Oh,
But now it's not the gel like you get in the can. So if you like the gel, then yeah, that's hard to make because you got to strain it and
no,
Got
no.
the peel in it.
I like the whole berry. I
yeah,
like
but
the
this
whole
is,
berry.
but it's really, you just try sometime. And with the Swerve, cranberries are pretty low in carbs
Yeah,
by themselves.
So
Yeah.
The orange
have-
juice that you put in and the sugar that adds the carbs.
yeah. I wouldn't put any orange in there. I do not like the flavor of orange.
Well, then just the cranberries and the Swerve and a
I
cup
might
of
put
water.
a little bit of lemon juice in
That
for
would
a little
work.
bit of tang, but but yeah, I didn't realize it was so easy. I've never tried.
I
to
didn't
make it
either until
before.
this year. My daughter made it when I was over at her house, and I said, "Wow!" So she's making the cranberry sauce with Swerve for me and her.
Oh, that's nice. That's
So
nice.
yeah, I have a question. Does anybody have trouble with stevia and diarrhea?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I,
Because I was
I,
like, is that a thing?
yeah, it's a thing. I can't do stevia. I can't do it in anything. And it makes me nauseous, and then I'll have issues out the other end. And so it's just a non-starter with me. That's why I don't use the BHB ketos in a can. I have to use the
Because of the
capsules
stevia.
because
Oh.
they don't have any stevia. So, and I don't use those very often because if I do, my heart will race. So yeah, I'm a mess. I know it. Why do you
I know
think?
that too. I've known that for a long
Yeah,
time.
very long time. She's well versed.
You know, I like the stevia, but I have found because I haven't been able to break my habit of having something akin to sugar in my coffee. I just can't seem to figure out how to break that. I've tried everything else. And I figure if that's the only place I'm having to put something sweet into it, I feel like I'm actually doing good. But I have found that I actually like monk fruit as my sweetener more than I like the stevia. The stevia or the Swerve or those, they all leave this funky taste in my mouth, even in my coffee. And Becky, you would just be thumbs up, giving me a big old hug around my neck. I actually bought some MCT oil and put it in my coffee today.
Yay, go
And
Renee.
it was interesting. But I will say I still had to add the sweetener because it just didn't taste right. But it did taste, it was better than I thought it was going to. So, you know, I've been kind of low on cash, so I've had to be kind of careful where what I can add in, what I can't. So I've kind of had come to a little bit of a stall from when Elizabeth first introduced me to the keto diet. And so I've kind of had to pick and choose what can I put in, what can't I. But being able to buy that MCT and add it in, I just felt so proud of myself in using it and buying it, because there was one more thing I really wanted to get that you've been recommending for a long time for me to get.
Are you still putting a little bit of salt in your coffee?
Every once in a while I do.
Yeah, because I thought you told me, I don't drink coffee, so I don't know anything about coffee. But you told me that if you put salt in, sometimes it naturally tastes sweeter.
Well,
to you.
it's not even so much naturally sweeter, is that if you buy like at the time I was buying an off brand, and so it was a really bitter coffee. It just takes the bitter out of it, is what it does. It changes the pH level. It makes it more
Alkaline.
Thank you. Who just said alkaline? That was great.
Julie.
Thank you, because my brain went wee.
Bye, Laura. Thanks for coming. Have a good Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Renee, have you tried whipping cream in your coffee?
Yes. Yeah, and it does provide the same thing as when I put cream in my coffee, but I'm used to cream and sugar. So it's that
Oh,
double
well,
whammy thing that I'm working on it, but I'm getting better, because I mean, it used to be like 2 tablespoons of sugar, then it was 1 tablespoon of sugar. Now I'm down to 1 tablespoon of my artificial sweetener, the monk fruit. So I'm slowly coming down. So I'm getting there.
yeah.
You
Um,
sound like me with coffee mate creamer. I used to use 2 heaping tablespoons. Now I'm down to like a half or a fourth of one. It just doesn't taste right without it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Scott introduced me to whipping cream.
Yep.
I wasn't having any cream at all. And then he introduced me to whipping cream, and it was like, oh, this is just the most delicious stuff. Now, I wasn't putting in any coffee or anything. I was just eating a tablespoon or 2 of it at a time. And then I went crazy with it. I ate half a tub of it. And, that's just crazy. You can't do that. And so now I've told Scott, if he's going to have whipping cream in the house, he has to lock it in the cabinet, because I can't be trusted with it. I know 2 tablespoons is only 2 carbs. I get it. Yeah, okay. But when you eat half a tub and there's 25 servings in a tub, that's a bit much.
Are you saying like Cool Whip?
Yeah, Cool Whip.
Oh, I'm thinking whipping cream, like pour cream. I mean, I have that all the time. It's called
Yeah,
whipping cream or
Scott has
heavy
that in
cream.
the fridge too, but I've never bothered that. That didn't interest me. But oh, look, he's got Cool Whip in the fridge, and oh, it says it's extra thick and creamy. I'll try
Mm.
this.
Now,
No.
you'll have to correct me, because I always thought that Cool Whip, that quick kind of whipping cream, had sugar added to it.
I thought so too.
1
I
gram,
mean,
1 gram of sugar.
okay, because I use actual whipping cream that you'd have to whip to
Yeah.
make whipping cream that has no
Pour
sugar
cream.
added to it.
You pour it
But-
out.
Yeah,
Yes,
before it
from
comes
a
in a
bottle.
carton.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Scott, are you going to get in on the whipping cream thing? Because you're the king of the whipping cream in the house.
No, I'm good. Thanks.
Good. Yeah.
They probably do add sugar to it, but they don't apparently don't add very much.
Yeah, I mean, when it's 1 total carb per tablespoon, it isn't much. But wow, it tasted so good to me, that extra thick whipping cream, the Cool Whip. And yeah, I went to town with it, and I'm like, see, I don't know when to stop. I start and I don't know when to stop. Now, I don't go crazy with steak or eggs or anything like that, but it's sweets. It's like I gotta have me some more. And I don't think there's ever enough sweets for me.
I
So-
found that I just don't. I used to think, oh, I can have a Diet Pepsi. And then I came to the realization that every time I have one, it just makes me want to have one the next day. And I decided, I'm better off just not having it at all and stop tricking my brain into thinking that I'm having something sweet and dumping all that insulin and yada, yada, yada. And, I had trouble going by the fruit the other day at Walmart, but I didn't have trouble going past the candy aisle. But the fruit, I can honestly say I had a little difficulty there. And I love my oranges and watermelon and grapefruit, and yeah. So I don't have the sweets as much as I just have problems with fruit.
Yeah, fruit, sad. But for some reason I can leave them alone. Well, I guess it's because we didn't have much fruit growing up. If we had fruit, it was canned fruit.
Yeah.
And my father's favorite was mandarin oranges. Ugh.
Oh, yeah.
no,
Yes.
ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
I'm with
that,
you, Julie. I like them.
Oh, yeah.
or that awful fruit cup,
Ooh,
that
that was
Fruit
awful.
cocktail.
Oh, yeah, that
Oh.
fruit cocktail. Oh, that, my mother would put in my lunch. I'm like, this is, other mothers give their kids cupcakes, mom. You know,
My mom gave me lemon snack pack pudding. Just the thought of it makes me gag.
Oh, no,
Oh.
that's awful.
No.
Lemon snack pack pudding.
Blech.
Oh,
Now tapioca, I'll take every day.
yeah, tapioca. Yeah, that's good. My dad was into butterscotch pudding, and he would get a bunch of butterscotch, and then mom would put it in our lunches. And my brother to this day hates anything with
Butterscotch.
butterscotch. I made a delicious brownie that was a surprise brownie because it had butterscotch scotch chips in it. He picked a piece up, he saw the butterscotch, he put it down. I'm like, hey, what's wrong with you? He's like, I don't like butterscotch. I'm like, okay.
Me neither. Or maple.
I don't like butterscotch either.
Nope.
By the way, this is what I've been making. Those are
Oh,
coasters.
Those are cool.
Ah,
What's that
cool.
reindeer, whatever you were making?
Oh, it's a dragon for my grandson. Well, not a dragon, a
Dinosaur.
dinosaur. Thank you. But yeah, my cousin asked me to make these for her acupuncturist lady
That's cool.
for her office, and then there's some for her and some for her receptionist. And if I don't finish it tonight, probably tomorrow evening or Thursday, I've also got a 16 by 20 canvas that I have to do.
All these crafty people.
Yeah, I really envy people that are crafty. I'm not. I can sew, but I can't do arts and stuff like that. And y'all were talking about foods that you love. I wish there was something that I didn't love.
Yeah,
There's-
oh,
Thank
like
you.
everything.
Liver. I was
I
told
like
tonight-
liver. I like every fruit, every vegetable you can think of. Years ago, I was at a produce stand and I saw something that I had no idea what it was. And my daughter looked at it. I said, I wonder if I like that. And she said, you haven't met a vegetable you didn't like.
I've met a few. But anyway, well, it's a little after 8, and so it's time for us to close. And I want to thank everyone for coming on the night before a holiday. And we'll see you next week and see how everybody did and how everybody's doing. And everybody take care. Have a good rest of the evening, and we'll see you next week. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye. Be
Thanksgiving.
blessed.
Bye.
Oh, I should probably stop the recording, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do that now.